Yeah, it's a bar brawl. I don't think it's very tactical. Carousing would definitely apply here, and none of us have it.
Right. No, I do have bodyguard. That's not going to help me.
Um,
Danger sense.
yeah, but everyone else is
I am
dodging.
the danger.
You should probably just roll, and after you've got 3 successes, we're done talking.
Yeah.
Does Coward give you a bonus to dodge? D12, I believe.
I think it gives you a bonus to your defenses, to your parry and your dodge, or maybe just your dodge.
I have 4.
What gives you a bonus?
Coward.
Yes, if you tap Coward, it gives you an extra D12. So if you were in a bar fight and you tapped Coward and refused to fight anyone, I could see how that would give you a bonus.
I got 4 successes on the back of body brawling and strength.
Nice. Okay.
Right, so you just beat the crap out of the entire bar.
Yeah. No one can lay a finger on Dan. He is so in his element, and even a little tipsy, that just makes him fight better. So not only are you able to not take any damage, Dan, you're also basically able to like navigate your way through this fight and position yourself anywhere you would like to be. And it looks like Connor manages to avoid taking any real damage, but also is kind of hemmed in. You don't really make progress through the space. And Potter got 1 success as well. So yeah, so Connor and Potter are doing their best to avoid the flung mugs and the overturned stools and tables and things. Every now and then you might like throw out a punch or a shove to just, protect each other, but you're not making any real headway in this melee.
They come out of this with like hurt at the most, and I don't mind.
Yeah, no, I think with 1 success, that's probably enough to avoid getting hurt. I'm ruling it that if you had no successes, you'd probably take hurt, cuts and bruises kind of thing. And with the 3 successes that Dan has, not only is he not hurt, but he's basically can just do whatever he wants within the context of this fight that's going on. So if you wanted to try to steal this ring from the guy, you would have the opportunity to.
I mean, the hope would be to knock him out.
Oh, you could do that as well. I'll say that you do it in a way that no one around you thinks that you're trying to knock this guy out. He's sort of like curled into a ball and huddled up. His friend is on the far side of the bar fight, and he looks shocked that this is broken out, but he doesn't stop to help. He turns and books it for the stairs to the basement and disappears into the basement. But yeah, you knock out this horse, and you hear gasps from one of the students who realizes that it is in fact their professor or a member of the school that they recognize. But he is very unconscious on the ground.
Oh god, he took a hard blow to the face. I'm gonna have to get him out of here. And I grapple drag him out the door.
Nice. I'll say that the fighters actually do like give you a little bit of room to maneuver because they're not here to hurt their own, school faculty. So they'll let you go. And you are out the door with this unconscious guy dressed in his...
At which point I leave the doorway and I hear, "What do you mean you don't want to have intercourse?" says Mercutio to Anushka.
Oh, I love it.
So where did you get this idea that after you concuss someone, you should drag them around a lot?
Well, I'm thinking like Weekend at Bernie's. Like I'm holding him up and walking him out, but I'm grappling him and dragging him is mechanically how I'm talking about it.
Well, the good news is you have a drunk crowd to play to. So how much deceit do you have?
None.
Well, I don't think that really matters.
I just assume that everybody else is a bit distracted.
Yeah, everyone else in the bar is either taking cover from the fight or participating in the fight. So no one's in a position to stop him.
Specifically, the one person who would care booked it in the other direction. So
that's true.
That's very true. That is a very poor wingman who deserts his case. See, I'm a good wing person. Notice how fine and healthy Mercurio is.
I was saying, you deserted. You ran out the door.
Yeah, deserted. I left you in there to take care of the entire problem, which you did, so thank you.
Mercurio says this man needs medical attention.
Yeah, let me check to see if he's dead. Is he dead?
He's not dead,
He's fine.
but he's gonna have a really large lump on his head.
Who is this guy? I look at his face. I have no idea who this is.
Well, apparently it's one of the professors.
Oh, they knew that? They just let you drag him out?
They're busy.
How do they know you're not going to roll him?
I don't know. How do they know I'm not going to roll them?
I roll the guy. Let's see who he is and what he's got in his purse.
What he's got in his
You guys
pockets.
watch for cops.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, so as you poke around in his pockets, you can see that in addition to this brass ring, he also is wearing one of these brass pendants with the strange vial of green liquid. It is the same pendant that you have a duplicate of this, the one that you recovered from the Harbinger. So it's a fairly strong indication that this man was meddling with necromancy.
Great. So in other words, he has I kept my mystic necromancy.
Ooh, you did.
Yeah, well, this kills my buzz.
Yeah. So I
Okay,
guess you can on-site identify necromantic trappings.
I mean, you can make me roll if you want.
You could roll. I mean, I already told you the stuff that would be apparent to you,
Right.
but
I
if
mean,
you would like
I actually
to...
have academics training. If I wrote it, I would have 1.5 successes.
And you've
Oh,
been
cool.
dealing with it a lot lately, so.
Right. Well, that's why I kept the mystic necromancer. It's like, all right, well, yeah, this is definitely a person of interest. Let's get him to an interesting place. Where is Connor crashing again?
I don't think that has been established, actually.
Well, usually when you arrive in town, you're supposed to find a place to crash. Is he enjoying the hospitality of his noble friend, or?
Yeah. I guess the professor would give him a room.
Okay, like
that's
now my eyes light up of like, I'm not really sure where we're beating these guys up. Necromancy. Okay, now I know why we're beating these guys up. All right, let's get him out of here. Mercurio, you're good to walk, right? I give Mercurio a light shove.
Yes. No.
Good, he didn't
he
fall
just-
over.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
he was
he's
fully
still standing.
cognizant earlier. He was just negotiating a sale like a minute ago.
Like I said, he's tipsy. He's not flat out drunk, but he's
Yeah, you can
holding
be
his...
drunk and negotiate a sale with other drunk people. It happens all the time.
I guess it wasn't specifically said what his state was. I just imagined
Right.
him like having a conversation and everything.
Right, and I'm just checking. Hey, there are characters in this world that are mind D12 and speed D4, so they get drunk, they can still talk, but they can't stand.
Like I said, it wasn't described what his countenance was, so I just assumed that he was like
Right.
fully able.
Well, none of us really know how to hold all of us are unpleasant drunks because none of us have carousing.
Oh, I'm a happy drunk. I'm just uncomfortably happy.
Yeah, I'm a happy drunk. Yes, you're very happy after you beat up the entire bar. That's what we mean by unpleasant. The other patrons are going to give you a 1-star review.
That's fine. I'm happy. I'm just saying,
Okay,
I'm
well,
not the angry drunk who drinks to forget. I'm a happy drunk to do what I love.
Well, you're pleased with yourself, and I suppose that's the person who matters the most to you.
Yep.
Good. You can carry this unconscious guy. That would please both of us.
Are you his wingman?
I got to take care of Mercurio.
Oh, I thought that's who you
Mercurio
meant.
is-
Sorry, we just had a whole minute conversation about how
You have to carry
drunk
the
or
unconscious.
not drunk Mercurio was. So
You have to carry the unconscious necromancer.
Yeah.
Well,
Mercurio is
all we had to
standing...
do is tie string to our arms and legs, and nobody will know that he's drunk.
And no one will
So you're
realize.
just carrying him home because he's drunk and had a bad spill, which is absolutely true.
Pretty
This
much.
Secret
Yeah, you
horror
fell right
movie.
in that fist.
Say the secret horror movie that is Weekend at Bernie's. Also, the inspiration for every RPG game that I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be more convincing if you had deceit or carousing. This would be more convincing, but we don't. So if anyone who knows what actual drunk people look like I said, they
I mean,
don't know.
don't even have to. I can just say anybody who asks, some fucking idiot punched him in the face.
Right. If anyone stops us, we're probably in trouble, so we should leg it because we're not locals, and this guy's local and respected.
Yep,
All
Mercurio
of
is
us has the seat at least.
So we try to slink back to where Connor is crashing.
Vicio's house. Or Vico? Vicio? How do you spell it?
Vico's place.
Vico's place. All right. Vico will answer the door. It's still not so late that he would
We don't
be.
go in the front door. We go in the side entrance. We go in the servants' quarters entrance.
Gotcha.
You don't bring an
Okay.
unconscious body in the front door. I'm a city person. I know this stuff.
Yeah, apparently. All right, yeah. It's not a very large room, but you guys all managed to fit in it, and you've got the body of this guy there as well, along with his necromantic trappings.
Okay. Put him on his side so he doesn't choke on his own vomit.
You have done this before.
In the rescue position. Good job.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not some doe-eyed ingenue. All right, so this is the mysterious vial of green liquid that we don't know what it is, but we've seen it in the company of Necromancer.
Indeed.
Okay, that's Exhibit A. Brass ring. We've seen this before too.
That's new.
Connor. That's new.
That's new. Is there a sigil on it or anything, or is it just a ring made of brass?
Yeah, the sigil looks like a snake twisted in a figure eight.
Huh.
I think the price for signet rings assumes a gold ring with an expensive jewel that's been carved with a signet, not just cast brass.
So it's not a signet ring then.
Oh, no. You wouldn't want a jewel in a signet ring.
A signet ring you usually make out of silver so it doesn't tarnish.
Okay.
Often you use that to ink stamp or wax stamp things, so people know it's from you.
It would really get messed up to have a jewel in that.
Right. But you could make it out of anything, and you could make it out of brass. That would be unusual, but if you're a wizard, wizards do weird things because magic is weird.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly what it is.
Right. So it's it's made out of brass and has a symbol on it of a snake in a figure eight, something I've never seen before.
Yeah, leave it to the necromancers to have the symbol for infinity as their signet.
Lemniscate. Yeah, well, it's different than Ouroboros.
Well, I mean, you can only do so much with a 2D environment.
I only have one success to identify it, which would be enough that anyone would know. So I would recognize that this is a signet ring and that's weird because it's made out of brass. But other than that, I wouldn't know what this is.
Yeah.
My mystic necromancy came up a 1, so that's not going to help me. My favorite use of academics is medicine. So,
man, I wonder if an Ouroboros would even exist as a symbol in
a
world full of animals. Yeah, our master, he ate himself.
Well, it's a mythical creature.
Continues to eat himself to this day, in fact.
I mean, they have mythical, Sasquatches and Yeti. Why wouldn't they have mythical snakes?
I mean, do they? In Ironclaw,
to my
do
mind,
we have
it's
the
like,
Yeti?
In my mind, we have mythical men who can carry the world on their shoulders. So I feel like an Ouroboros would be like the same kind of thing.
My only concern there is that our mythical creatures in setting exist.
There's
dragons and there's queelings and
there was a Yeti in one of the April books.
Oh yeah.
Was that on?
No, Time of Monsters. Which we should probably get a copy for Red Rabbit because it specifically makes fun of World of Darkness.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'd like a copy of that too. I don't have it.
That's a longer term. We only sold it on April Fool's Day. It was an April Fool's joke. It's filled with all sorts of slams at various games, but it had a Yeti in it. So,
wow.
But moving on. So I put that's Exhibit 2. So in other words, I recognize this to know this has something to do with necromancy, but not enough to know exactly what it is, which is fine. I'm a random person off the street. This is the kind of thing that we need to find. We also know that somehow they're involved with putting beetles in people and raising places of power, some of which we have marked on our map.
Beetles?
Yeah, or some kind of insects, right? Weren't the insects like little tiny beetles?
They were ticks.
Oh, ticks. Even worse.
Yeah. Gross.
For some reason, I had the idea that they were scarab beetles, but nope, ticks, even worse.
Oh yeah, that old horror scene from The Mummy.
Yeah. I think it's a weevil in Dark Souls 2.
Bleh.
But
What's your favorite use of academics?
Medicine.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm one of the pre-gen characters, and all the pre-gen characters are designed to keep people from dying.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I know the opposite of necromancy. So so I know we have to find someone smarter or go consult a library. He is definitely a person of interest, and perhaps when he regains consciousness, he could tell us something. I believe Connor is our most skilled in the persuasive arts, having gone to school and learned rhetoric.
Are we in a we did take this man, right? So I mean, how far are we going with this? Are we tying him to a chair, or because if he wakes up and you start questioning him, he might also shout for help.
We are in the servants' quarter, so yeah, if he did shout for help, it would be very distracting to Vico, who might have something, might want to ask questions of, hey, why is an important rich person, because he's a professor, which means he he's dressed reasonably rich, right? What was in his purse besides this?
Oh, yeah. He seemed to be fairly well off. He had, let's say, like 8 denarii in his purse.
Yeah. So he's got 8 days' wages in his purse. He's pretty rich.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking how far we want to take this, because either we restrain and gag him, or we drop him off in an alleyway somewhere and hope he doesn't remember anything.
You know, I'm of the mind we should probably drop him off, because if we did that, if we return him, he might not remember any of this. And right now, we're not persons of interest. We're just random people who beat the crap out of him in the bar.
Right. I mean, at most, people would remember that I dragged him out, but he must have just dragged him out and dropped him in the alley.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly more acceptable than, hey, I've been tied up and gagged for the last 4 days at the Vico place.
Do we want to keep his necromancy stuff?
Yeah, because what's he going to do? Tell people about it?
True.
Sorry, officer, those guys robbed me of my crack cocaine.
Exactly.
He might tell his superiors about it, but that's fine. Does he have nice boots?
Yes.
We'll take those.
Oh, right.
We'll make, we can just make this look like a mugging. We'll take his purse, we'll take his weird stuff, we'll take his boots. Dan, we go dump this guy in an alley somewhere.
Okay. That's easy enough to do. Plus, then, Connor, you don't have to worry about interrogating someone in the home of your dear friend and former teacher.
I think what's more important is we've got examples of these things. We need to get this stuff identified. I think that's more important. Yeah. And let's face it, he's a wizard. So not only one of the funniest things like to point out is that one of the skills for necromancy is deceit. They're professional liar.
My only worry now is that he's not actually a necromancer, and that he might have Psicodonte on any of his stuff. A word I've never said right ever. So
right,
it's a nectiki, and it's the part for the whole, not the whole for the part. In other words, we can use this to track him. He can't use it to track us.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay.
It depends on what. It's like magic, so it has the most significance. If this was his personal signet ring that he used for authority, it's got to be tied to him personally. And the one thing I'm worried about is this ring is more significant to necromancy than it is to him.
So you can use synecdoche to find people, not objects.
Right, but usually you use their hair or their clothes to do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, so you can use it to find people, but not objects.
You could use it to find an object, but it'd be the most significant thing. In other words, this ring here is, as necromantic, where would it take us? It would take us to the thing that's most significant of the snake symbol. we might be able to use this to find a hidden temple. It might just take us to one of these circles on the map that we already know about.
I'm sorry, what was the thing that he had again? Not the ring, the other necromantic object he had.
He's got a vial of green liquid.
Yeah, it's really it's a brass medallion with this vial of green liquid set into it.
Which is really, transparent glass is really expensive. So,
and also not very good as glass. Really hard to see through.
Not very good as glass. Well, it might be that we don't know if the liquid is green or if the glass is green. Either way, it's weird.
All we know is there's something green inside.
All we know is they have a medallion with a weird liquid inside.
But have we come across anything like that before?
You have.
A green
you
liquid?
Actually have one in. Well, you have the same kind of medallion in your possession, but you haven't done anything to it to figure out what the green liquid was.
Oh, so we have a medallion with green liquid as well.
Yeah, now you have two.
One.
But have we actually seen any green liquid anywhere in the things that we've been doing?
No.
I think when we killed the zombies, they're not full of green stuff. No. They're full of ticks, which are also not full of green stuff. Right, but
now I have to wonder if this is just what's the wizard school that uses mercury?
The Hydrogeum? That's Cognoscente.
Right, so I'd have to wonder maybe if the green liquid is just another form of symbolic liquid, not so much material component.
Well, I would be inclined to agree, but the question is, what is it symbolic of? Is it like the blood of some monster or something?
Bile? If we're going to go with the, what was it, forest humors? Is 4 humors or 6 humors?
4.
If it's part of the 4 humors, it could just be bile, right?
Bile's either black or yellow, though.
Oh, that's right. It's black. I think bile is black.
Yeah, there's black bile and yellow bile.
Is there a green humor?
There has not if everything is going all right with your body, no.
Well, no, and not all the humors are good.
Well, no, they're all good when they're balanced. See, that's the trick. You have to have enough, the right amount of bile in your body, but not too much bile.
Right.
Because there's black bile, there's yellow bile, and there's phlegm.
I was thinking phlegm might be green, but
phlegm might be green. There you go. So it might be phlegm, and there's also blood, and you need that in your body. Trust me, I have medicine.
Trust me, I have learned this.
Phlegm is green.
But that's also where bleeding comes from.
Also associated with water on the brain and lungs.
But that's where the concept of bloodletting comes from. It's like, his humors are out of balance. He has too much blood. We better let some out.
Yep. Yeah. Man, this pre-science world was a scary place. Although, to be fair, they were trying, right? I mean, that's more than just saying that the demons were in you or whatever.
I mean, yeah. Let's just go on with all the other quack medicine. Let's measure its head to see if he's a murderer.
Yeah, it didn't make the final cut in Ironclaw second. And Ironclaw first, Body Snatcher was a job.
Oh, yeah.
What
skills come with Body Snatcher?
Digging.
Oh, yeah, digging. Of course.
Digging, deceit, and I think observation.
That sounds like a grave robber.
I mean, that's what it would be, right?
That's what a Body Snatcher is.
Oh, you say Body Snatcher, I'm thinking kidnapper.
Well, technically we had it listed as resurrectionist, which confused people because that's the fancy for a corpse snatcher.
Sure. I mean, that makes some sense in a fantasy game where like resurrection is a thing that you could do. I feel like, right? In the real world, a resurrectionist, it makes a lot of sense. Someone who steals dead bodies, because that's as close as those dead bodies are ever coming back.
One of my favorite zombie movies is I Steal the Dead.
Yeah, and resurrection is a crime because it's body stealing. But moving on, we got rid of
bodies, sell them to doctors.
Yeah.
And we pared down the list a little bit. Sorry, everyone. I think we need to get this stuff identified. And the next question, and here's the next problem of identifying them. We can't get them identified here because the most likely place I would go to get this identified would be conscient because we're that close to it and it's a place of learning. Except this guy's a professor of conscient, which
Mhm.
implies that they're ridden with corruption and have secret conspiracy of necromancers.
Yeah, we're at
that
the-
goes high as their faculty.
We have
Who do you
the
trust?
nobody. Yeah, no viable angle of trust. I mean, next thing you know, we'll turn to Vico, and Vico is ready to turn us in because he's part of it too.
Which really means we should be reporting this directly to the church, who, being a multi-domain organization, would not necessarily be that beholden, which means I think we pretty much
Return to
need
Shalon.
I think we need to leave town. No, I would actually go to, and you're going to hate me for this. I would go to Fermarouge so we could drop off this goddamn letter. Okay, and then we could get a boat and go to Triskellion where the Pope is.
One, they still hate you in Triskellion. I mean, not as much, but they do. Two, we are less than a couple of leagues away from the Basilica of Salamer. Why wouldn't we just go there?
Yeah, it's only a day.
I mean, we
Oh.
shouldn't circumnavigate the island to get when we're next to the second largest cathedral in the whole religion.
Yeah,
One
you
more next to
actually, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot more sense. I guess we need to go ahead and take the next coach. Unfortunately, since pack animals are diurnal, coach travel is only during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the Archduke knows two of you already.
Yeah, so I guess let's go find Connor and tell him that we need to get back to Saldre as soon as possible.
Connor's with us. Are you?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were at the dinner.
Oh,
No, he
that's
came to
over
see
with.
you at the bar.
Yeah, that ended.
wow.
He came and
That was
told
weird.
us about the stuff, which is why I started the fight to begin with, to get the information.
I figured, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought you said. So I thought that was a little off. I
At
thought it was just
most-
his entourage. But it was him too.
His entourage is still there, though. We might need to go get his entourage from the
Yeah.
whatever happened at the end of the bar fight.
Yep. We should make yeah, I think we should away as soon as possible. Like as soon as daylight happens, we should get out of here. And because we need to get audience with paladins with right hand path as soon as possible. Preferably a capitular order, except the problem is I don't think we're close to any of them. Ardent is several leagues away.
How long
But-
would it take you to get to Femerouge?
Oh, at least 2 days. And probably more.
Well, we could always split up.
And that's to get there. To come back would take another 2.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you could fly to Femerouge to deliver that damn letter, and then
go back to
fly
Shalon?
back to Shalon.
That could take me. That would take me at least 5 days and possibly longer. But I have no objections to that. That would mean you have to stay in Shalon for about 5 or 6 days.
I see no problem there. I mean, if they figure
Well-
out what's happened, or they think some street thug has robbed them of their necromancy shit, they might be on high alert, and it would serve
And
us
Con-
better to probably bunker down in Shalon until you
And-
get back.
Connor has a positive reputation and is well spoken. So what say you, Connor? Do you think you want to try and gain audience with inquisitors?
That sounds like a good plan to me.
And again, remember, you've met the Archduke before. We've been there.
Yep.
I haven't, but when
He doesn't
Harmon
need a
was
letter.
around,
Yeah, he doesn't need a letter of introduction. He is Connor. Well then, let's bundle up our necromantic stuff and pass it along to Connor, who might pass it along to Potter,
Hmm.
and say, well, then if all that's well and good, then indeed, I think we will once again cross paths in Shalon. I should be able to find you once we get there. So I suppose we'll part and not be seen for another week. It is a joy serving with you, my lord.
It is good to have you with me. You are a
And
loyal friend.
yep,
That is not something I take lightly.
I've killed in your name. You're welcome.
Oh man, we gotta hire a bard. That sounds like it'd be a great name for a song.
Yep.
Killing in the
But
name of.
there's only a few more hours of night left, so probably come the daybreak, I'm going to have to rest. So I'll go ahead and get started on that, on heading to Firmer. I have a good
Okay.
description of Ludovico. This shouldn't take too long, if that's okay with everyone.
It's fine with me if you want to do it.
Okay. And then the rest of you will head back to Chalons Soldier. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I have 3 successes if I wrote.
yeah.
And on the sliding difficulty scale, I can rote all the way. I will still have 3 successes all the way up to difficulty 6. So if you really want to calculate that, I can easily go 2, maybe 3. I could do 2 squares a day.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think that you have maybe there's like some stormy weather, but all things considered, I think you should be able to make it to Ferme Rouge in the time expected.
Yeah, it would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would get there in 3 days and then be 1, 2. It'd be 3 days to get back. That gives me a day to try and find him. So these guys basically, I think, just head off to Chalon. I don't know if you guys want to rent a carriage for that. I'm sure you could get a carriage from Conscient.
I mean, might be better not to. Don't want them to investigate things and have a trail of Connor where he's been, who's seen him.
Well, you don't have any. There's going to be a trail. You have a whole entourage. You'll have to either leave through the gate, in which case the gate guards will see you leave.
Right. But to a carriage rental driver or whatever, you have to tell them where you're going.
Well, no, the carriage says we're going from Conscient to Chalon. Everyone who buys a ticket gets to go with us.
Yeah, and then that way you're telling them where you're going. Whereas if we just leave town, we could be heading anywhere on foot.
Right.
Unless somebody's following us, in which case we have a whole entourage of observant people.
Okay. But they're probably going to assume you're heading to Chalon because that's where you would go.
Sure. I mean, I'd rather them assume than know.
It's out of my hands. It's in yours and Connor's hands. I'm flying.
It's in Connor's hands. We're just the 2 voices on each shoulder.
Well, I'm on the wing. I'm out of here.
Which one of you is the devil and which one of you is the angel?
I just started a bar fight for haphazard reasons. Anushka left the bar, so I think we all know which one is the angel and which one's the devil.
Well, let's follow the devil's advice this time.
Running with the devil. Sorry.
You're going to get his copyright striked.
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry.
Now you were within the 3 seconds. We're good.
Okay, good. All right. So it sounds like you guys are going to go on foot then, out of Conscient, hoping not to draw any kind of attention for your actions in this town, and you're going to make your way to Chalons Soldier. Meanwhile, Anushka is going to fly her way over to Ferme Rouge. I will say that your mercenaries are going to catch up with you. They did fine in the brawl as well. One of them sustained a minor cut from the edge of a mug, but nothing that you can't walk away from. And Handsome Marshall will comment that, like, honestly, when we signed up with you, I did not expect to be fighting with school children. Here's hoping that our next exploit is at least a little more interesting, if not more lucrative.
I'm sure it will be a worthy endeavor. I have lots of people who hate me guts.
Well, we are at your service, my lord. And he gives you a bow. And once again, you don't know, there's something very ominous about this guy. He seems like he's ready to cause, but he's working for you, so cause real damage to people that you want to see hurt. We're gonna jump over to Anushka's arrival at Fermarouge, though. Anushka, you've been told, and this is at least multiple weeks ago, back when you were in Harrogate, you were told by your friend and circus performer, Ineffable Tess, that she has, on occasion, performed some the transport of secret letters on behalf of the barons of the Bisclavre territories. And she asks that you help her deliver this letter to one half-faced Ludovico who runs a small tavern called the Bent Nail. Right? Bent Nail Tavern in Fermarouge. As you once again return to Fermarouge, your nostrils are filled with the familiar seaside smell that permeates this place. And you have little trouble entering with your status as a messenger, although this is the first time you've traveled here, I think, without the escort of Connor. And you can't help but notice that it feels a little lonely and disheartening entering this particular town without this royal entourage.
It is. Life's a lot better when you have a rich sugar daddy coming with you everywhere you go. I mean, being with Connor is way more amazing.
Right, exactly. So it feels just generally quieter. The town feels quieter this time. But it's easy enough to find the Bent Nail. It's a tavern that is located on the seaside of town. You imagine that from like the second story, you could even see over into, and you could see the waves of the ocean from this place. And it's a small, rickety building. When you enter, in fact, at this point, I would like observation, wits and observation. And if you've got danger sense, you could roll me that as well.
I love how you said wits and observation. Wrong game.
No, I almost... Oh, shit, it's will. It's those W attributes.
Oh, is it will? I actually roll better than that.
Yeah, it is will. I'm sorry. I meant will. I said wits.
Okay, that's still only one success. An extra success if I'm looking for an address.
Right. This is not to find it. So we won't include that. But
yeah, I only have one success.
Okay, one success. So you find the place, and you find that the place is eerily empty based on what Tess had told you about the place. It was
From the window.
Yeah. You haven't entered in, but you can see that there's at least one person who's sweeping up. And from the window, you can see it looks like he is you can see a very specific scar on half of his face, which would lead him.
That matches the description. Good sir, might you be Ludovico?
He looks up and he says, what? Yes, they call me Ludovico, and welcome. And you look around the room, you can see that there's maybe like one person who looks like an old fisherman, maybe, and he's hunched over a bowl of steaming soup in the corner of the room. And he said, who calls for Ludovico? Not the person in the corner, but Ludovico himself is asking.
I know. It's like, oh, I was wondering if he's excited. Wow, another customer. No, I'm here to serve you. It's probably legal papers.
No,
I have traveled a great distance. I have brought you this message.
Okay. He'll take the message from you, and you notice that his hand is shaking slightly as he sees the seal on the message itself. And he looks at you. He's searching your face for something. It's not clear exactly what.
Smile, and he says, completely blank.
Just completely blank. And he says,
I have my customer service face on. I'm like, I don't care how hard this is. I'm just doing my job. AKA millennial face.
Millennial face. There you go. He clears his throat and he looks at the letter in his hands, and he looks back up to you and he says, You've risked much to deliver this message. And when he says that, you can hear the sliding of a chair behind you. The old man, when you turn around, is carrying a crossbow and is pointed this crossbow at you. And he says...
it's customary to give a gratuity.
The old man says, ignoring this gratuity, once again, he's got you in his sights with this crossbow, and he says, by order of the Baron, Ecrevis, Le Vieux d'Ecrevis, right?
Yes.
I am taking you under arrest for acts of sedition against the crown of the Avoirdupois.
Huh. You have the authority for this?
What kind of... I guess they would probably have a medallion, right? Like a badge or something if you worked with the police.
Yeah, well, you guess you'd have a writ for my arrest or some sort of authority, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to... He's still
You're
got
gonna
one
Rosencrantz
hand...
my ass, aren't you?
Yeah, he still has one hand on the crossbow, but he does show you... He does have a scroll or a writ. It does seem to carry the Lever de Ecrevis seal upon it. That this would indicate that he is working with the police force. You guys actually worked with these guys before when you were dealing with the foreign assassins, the Chinese thieves, right? They're not Chinese.
Yes,
they're
but I did not keep my insider.
The Blue Dragons.
The Blue Dragons, thank you. So it's possible that you crossed paths with this individual before, but you don't recognize him. You hadn't spoken to him in the past. He doesn't seem to recognize you particularly. But Ludovico is going to walk over to the man and he's going to put the letter on the desk, on the table. And he seems very cowed by this whole experience. Like, you can tell that it was a setup.
There must be some sort of error. I'm just a deliverer of the message. You can see the seal is unbroken. If you have issue with that, you can take this up with Sir Connor. Oh man, what's your family name again, Connor?
Lever de Crevis.
Lever de Crevis, yeah. Wow, yeah. You did Sir Connor of Lever de Crevis. But I just deliver messages. I'm not sure if Avoirdupois is different from the customary law of the land. Seal is unbroken. You were both witnesses to that. I must take my leave.
He says, now hold on there. We still have questions for you.
I'm beholden to the service of Sir Connor, who is at this very moment waiting for me. You can understand that my duty is to my lord, such as your duty is to yours.
This is, I mean, I think that's as honest as your character could be about the situation.
I know. They could still try to detain me because I'm just saying, like, if anything happens to me, Sir Connor's going to be pissed off. They go, so some random guy from a minor house is pissed off. Yeah,
like, the thing is, Sir Connor's family is the law of the land here, but as the local, like, police force, he also serves that family, presumably a higher, the Baron himself.
I mean, they could arrest me. I'm just sitting here looking around going, I do not want to be arrested by these schmucks in foreign land.
Totally.
So,
let's have a roll.
Trying to negotiate. You guys, hey, you can take this up with Sir Connor instead of me. I just delivered a note with an unbroken seal. I have no idea what's in it.
All right. Well, I would like...
I just like after 30 episodes of sedition jokes. These guys try to arrest you for sedition.
Would you like a negotiation roll?
I would like a negotiation. I'm trying to decide if this is a mind or a will negotiation.
Well, I think it's probably a will because I am outnumbered and I'm using a lot of chutzpah.
A lot of chutzpah. Yep, and it's gonna need some success.
Well, that's 2. That's
two
the
is
best
good.
I can do.
2 is good. So
I still have negotiation.
Nice. Okay, so you make your case. And perhaps this guy recognizes you a little bit, or perhaps he just reads the earnestness in your face and your features. But he says,
I can look sad. My character looks very sad.
He says, having done this for as long as I have, you can read innocence on a face, and you do have the look of an innocent. But that's not for me to decide. I will bring you in front of our lord, and if what you say is true, he can confirm it, and we can determine your true innocence. But until then, I will have to take you into custody. Come with me. Do not attempt to flee, or I will shoot you down, as is the punishment for acts of treason, or I don't know what an act of foreign
treason. That's the word you're looking for. It says, well, I
Yeah.
suppose I do my service and you do yours, and I'm leaving. If I can't outrun one old guy with a crossbow, I'm not sure I deserve my job.
Oh, you're booking it. Okay.
I'm
right.
legging it. I'm not standing for this. I have to be back within a week, and I'm not being thrown in some jail where my death is probably more useful to everyone than my life.
That is a fair.
I'm legging it.
point.
It would be a strange occurrence where Anushka gets taken out by a single crossbow bolt.
Take your shot.
He's gonna take his shot. It is an aimed shot. We're rolling.
Yeah. No, I know it's an aimed shot.
And a D12. Where is my? There we go. All right. / roll. A tie.
Well, we are in a bar, and I'm heading out the door. Is that enough for them to shoot the door frame?
Yeah, you could claim the door is covered.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I'll take to the sky, and I'm out of here.
Okay, and you're out of here. You can hear the shouts.
I could, by the time you reload this thing and get outside, I could be 120 paces.
Yeah. And what's the maximum range for a crossbow?
You could probably
like
take
100,
a shot at 120 paces, but you're not going to hit me.
Yeah, you get like 2d12 at that point.
And if the crossbow bolt comes down on someone, you're going to get a lot of trouble.
Well, I mean, you could also fly close to the ground, which would put buildings and trees and whatnot between you and him.
And I would do a mix of this. In other words, by the time they get outside, it would be a nigh impossible shot. And and also we don't have provisions for this in the rules, but if you fire randomly into the city and hurt someone, that causes more problems. Then it's worth.
Yeah, so this guy is going to chase you out, and he's going to be shouting. He's shouting for city guard. But
he could, they could shout and all the guards, which means I'm not sleeping in the city today, which is kind of annoying because I was kind of planning on that.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be the first time I had to go rough it in the woods.
Exactly, and you do make it out unharmed. Perhaps maybe a little bit of damage to your reputation in Fermarouge, but. In any case,
well, I didn't drop my name, but on the other hand, it's not like there's a lot of other bat messengers. So, and also I don't have stealth; I have endurance. So basically, I would fly until I was sore.
Exactly. You just go full steam.
My plan is
a lot
just
of distance
back to Shalon.
Yeah, and you will make it back to Shalon. And we'll pick it up there in a minute, but I'm going to ask for another really short bathroom break.